Hi, I'm Patty Riskind, and I lead healthcare at AvePoint.
Hi, I'm Hayley Bair. I'm the director of our Academic Medical Center practice at AvePoint as well.
And Hayley, today we're going to talk about what's going on in the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
What are we seeing in terms of trends related to data security? So I'm curious, you're talking to a lot of academic medical centers. What have you heard?
It's a really interesting place to be in with academic medical centers because they're incredibly unique in being both healthcare and education based. So they have a lot of different regulations that most of our customers don't have the privilege of getting both of those. So data security and compliance is incredibly important to them and top of mind. And every conversation I'm having is around who has access to what content, should they have access to this content? Are we having our end users create content in a way that aligns with what our security standards are? And are there things that we can be doing better to understand what our user activity is and really what they're creating and whatnot? So
I do think post-COVID, there's a ton of technical debt out there, and there's what I would call sprawl in terms of who's using what and who has access to what and what data is current and what should be archived and the storage issues. I feel like academics have a challenge of so many users and business users who want data for different purposes, and just keeping track of that is overwhelming.
for sure.
And I'm excited because we're seeing these academic medical centers now, post-COVID, post-2021, 2022, 23, finally being able to come up for air, but still challenged with how do I do more with less? How do I demonstrate return on investment? And how do I ensure from a breach, ransomware, cyber perspective, how do I keep our data safe? I don't know if you have specific clients that are challenged with this and what are they doing about it?
You know, this is something we've seen across the public sector as a whole of, their entire Microsoft 365 adoption over the last several years has either been we were ahead of the game or we're doing the cleanup activity now. And, the academic medical centers being tied with both of having to mobilize like we saw and having to create that remote work environment. We're seeing that tenfold now because they have just so much data. They have an enormous amount of content in their environment that they're trying to muddle through and figure out whether it's still on-prem or it's in the cloud. Across the board, they're creating so much content every single day that is highly regulated content that they care about what it is and where it is and how people have access to it more than I've seen in my entire time in the public sector world. So I think, a lot of the customers I'm talking to right now are having that conversation internally and with us on what have we kind of created and what are we doing with that now and how can we, kind of backtrack and put the parameters in place that maybe we would have liked to before.
Because if, hopefully not, there is an incident and you have to do the backup, it's what should be prioritized. And unless you know the who, what, when, where, hows, of where your data is and what's important and who should have permissions for what, it's an enormous task to do that kind of recovery. I think what's exciting is now our clients have the ability to say, all right, we know who, what, where, when, how. Therefore, when it comes to recovery, it's so much faster and it's so much easier.
So what are you seeing with your extensive background in the healthcare world coming into AvePoint and coming into what you're hearing from our customers or what we do in the space?
Everyone has the same need, and it's the how do we create trust in our data security and how do we ensure that productivity is enhanced? Can we take advantage of what's available to plan ahead, put governance in place, empower our users to adhere to the compliant rules that we have. As a result, the efficiency and the productivity of everyone reduces the burden on IT and security to have to be responsible for everything and democratizes the access to data and the security of that data. All of the clients that we work with now have so much potential to work in a more efficient, productive fashion and have the confidence that their data is safe. How's that?
Great.
Perfect.
You done?
Natural.
Woo!